How to use a study guide. This study guide is intended for use for both instructors and students on an advanced driving course. Watch or listen to the video either before attending a driving course or during it as a way of compounding your knowledge of system and highway code. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Good luck. The system of car control. The system of car control is a way of approaching and negotiating hazards that is methodical, safe, leaves nothing to chance. It involves careful observation, early anticipation, early planning, systematic use of controls to achieve maximum vehicle stability. Early observation allows good planning which puts you in the correct position, at the correct speed, with the correct gear engaged, at the correct time, to negotiate hazards safely and efficiently. The 4 phases of system. The 4 phases of system of car control: position, speed, gear, acceleration. Information introduces and runs throughout the system. Information is not a phase of system. Information is tug, take, use and give. Consider information, both taking in and giving information before each phase of system. System flexibility. System must be flexible. Consider system in the order of position, speed, gear, acceleration, but be ready not to use some phases of system, or indeed return to an early phase of system to negotiate a hazard safely. Be prepared to give information before each phase of system, or not at all, as it would be unnecessary or confusing. Roadcraft, the police driver's handbook. How to use a study guide. This study guide is intended for use for both instructors and students on an advanced driving course. Watch or listen to the video either before attending a driving course or during it as a way of compounding your knowledge of the system of car control and highway code. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Good luck. The system of car control. The system of car control is a way of approaching and negotiating hazards that is methodical, safe and leaves nothing to chance. It involves careful observation, early anticipation, early planning, systematic use of controls to achieve maximum vehicle stability. Early observation allows good planning which puts you in the correct position, at the correct speed, with the correct gear engaged, at the correct time, to negotiate hazards safely and efficiently. The 4 phases of system of car control: position, speed, gear, acceleration. Information introduces and runs throughout system. Information is not a phase of system. Information is tug, take, use and give. Consider information, both taking in and giving information before each phase of system. System flexibility. System must be flexible. Consider system in the order of position, speed, gear, acceleration, but be ready not to use some of the phases of system, or indeed return to an early phase of system to negotiate a hazard safely. Be prepared to give information before each phase of system, or not at all if it would be unnecessary or confusing. Commentary driving. Commentary driving is both a useful training and teaching tool. An instructor can use commentary driving to help the student understand the system of car control, help the student understand when to use system properly, help with hazard recognition, increase the student's knowledge of the highway code, show the student how to plan earlier for hazards, help the student retain muscle memory of implementation of system. Commentary driving. An examiner uses commentary driving to test the student's knowledge and understanding of system, all-round observation skills, hazard recognition, early planning and implementation of system. How to start commentary drive. There are many ways of starting commentary, but the most important thing is that you prioritise hazards. For example, talk about the closest, most important hazard first. In the absence of an impending hazard, describe the road that you're travelling on, the area that you're travelling in and associated hazards. Road signs. In the far distance, middle distance, foreground and rear. The system of car control. Commentary is a way of painting a picture for your passengers. Using definitions and highway code rules in commentary. At a higher level of commentary, students use definitions to help explain the terminology that they are using. They are impressive to hear, but must be used at the correct time. If a driver is using a definition in their commentary, then they must be prepared to break away from the definition and talk about the most important hazard they see or anticipate. While learning the definition verbatim is needed for instructors or examiners, a student may give a definition as close to the exact wording as long as the information comes across and is easily understood. Examples of definitions. The limit point. The limit point is the furthest point along the road to which you have an uninterrupted view of the road surface. Safety position. The safety position is the safest position for the vehicle to occupy on the road in relation to actual and potential dangers existing at that moment. Hazard. A hazard is anything which is an actual or potential danger. Principles of safe cornering. Make sure your vehicle is in the correct position on the approach. Travel at the correct speed for the corner or bend. Select the correct gear for that speed. Use the accelerator to maintain a constant speed through the bend. Be able to stop safely within the distance you can see to be clear on your own side of the road. Using cornering principles puts you in the correct position. This increases your view around the bend, reduces the tightness of the bend, and thereby improves the stability of the vehicle. The following position. The following position is the safest position for my vehicle to follow behind another. There are 5 main advantages of the following position. You have a good view and can increase it along both sides by slight changes of position. This enables you to be fully aware of what's happening on the road ahead. You can stop your vehicle safely if the driver in front brakes firmly without warning. You can extend your braking distance so the driver behind has more time to react, especially if they are driving too closely. You can see when it's safe to move up into the overtaking position. In wet weather, you get less spray from the vehicle in front. Microclimates. Microclimates are areas of shade where wet or icy patches may still linger. Mirrors. I am checking my mirrors at least once every 5 to 10 seconds, as it is important to know what's happening behind as it is in front. Effective observation. Effective observation is the foundation of good driving. If you do not know something is there, you cannot react to it. Vehicle stability. A vehicle is at its most stable, travelling at a constant speed in a straight line with no load in the engine. A skid. A skid occurs when one or more of the tyres loses normal grip on the road. This happens when the grip of the tyre is less than a force or forces acting on it. Cornering. Right hand bend. I am positioning my vehicle to the near side, bearing in mind near side dangers such as junctions, potholes, standing water. Cornering left hand bend. I am positioning my vehicle left of the centre white line, bearing in mind oncoming traffic. Speed. Up ahead I can see a 30 or 40 miles an hour speed limit. This reminds me this is not a target speed, but one at which I'll drive if safe to do so. Up ahead I see national speed limit signs. This reminds me I'm still in a 30 or 40 miles per hour speed limit. When approaching national speed limits, remember to select the appropriate gear. Check both mirrors and blind spots before no correct degree of acceleration. Zones of visibility, invisibility. I am dividing what I can see into zones of visibility and zones of invisibility. Zones of visibility are zones of relative safety, and zones of invisibility are zones of relative danger. I am planning my drive to what I can see, what I can't see, and what I can reasonably expect to happen. Safe stopping distance rule. Always drive so you can stop safely within the distance that you see to be clear on your own side of the road. The tyre grip trade-off. If more tyre grip is used for braking or accelerating, there is less available for steering and vice versa. Cat's eyes. Centre lines. One cat's eye every other gap. Hazard warning line. One cat's eye every gap. Double white lines. Twice as many cat's eyes as hazard lines. Accurate steering requires good observation, anticipation and planning. The Highway Code. Many of the rules in the code are legal requirements, and if you disobey these rules, you're committing a criminal offence. You may be fined, given penalty points on your licence, or be disqualified from driving. In the most serious cases, you may be sent to prison. Such rules are identified by the use of the words must, must not. In addition, each rule includes an abbreviated reference to the legislation which creates the offence. An explanation of the abbreviations is on page 124. Although failure to comply with the other rules of the code will not in itself cause a person to be prosecuted, the Highway Code may be used in evidence in any court proceedings under the traffic legislation to establish liability. This includes rules that use advisory wording such as should or should not, or do not. Knowing and quoting Highway Code rules. As an instructor or examiner, knowledge of Northern Ireland's Highway Code is imperative. Being able to quote Highway Code rules throughout a demonstration drive, a debrief, or explanation is highly impressive and professional. Below are a few of the most common to use. These are not the only rules to use. Add your own and plan these into your lessons. Rule 161. Mirrors. All mirrors should be used effectively throughout your journey. You should use your mirrors frequently, so you always know what is behind you and to each side of you. Use them in good time before you signal or change direction or speed. Be aware that mirrors do not cover all areas and that there will be blind spots. You will need to look around and check. Rule 110. Flashing headlights. Only flash your headlights to let other road users know that you are there. Do not flash your headlights to convey any other message or to intimidate other road users. Rule 112. The horn. Use only while your vehicle is moving and you need to warn other road users of your presence. Never sound your horn aggressively. You must not use your horn while stationary on the road, while driving in a built-up area between the hours of 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. except when another road user poses a danger. Rule 124. Speed limits. You must not exceed the maximum speed limits for the road and for your vehicle. The presence of street lights generally means that there is a 30 miles per hour speed limit unless otherwise specified. Rule 103. Signals. Signals warn and inform other road users, including pedestrians, of your intended actions. You should always give signals in plenty of time, having checked it is not misleading to signal at that time. Use them to advise other road users before moving off, changing course or direction, or stopping. Cancel them after use. Make sure your signals will not confuse others. If, for instance, you want to stop after a side road, do not signal until you are passing the road. If you signal early, it may give the impression that you intend to turn into the road. Your brake lights will warn traffic behind that you are slowing down. Use an arm signal to emphasize or reinforce your signal. Remember that signaling does not give you priority. Rule 104. You should watch for signals given by other road users and proceed only when it is safe. Be aware that an indicator on another vehicle may not have been cancelled. 127. A broken white line. This marks the centre of the road. When this line lengthens and the gap shortens, it means that there is a hazard ahead. Do not cross it unless you can see the road is clear and wish to overtake or turn off. 128. Double white lines where the line nearest you is broken. This means you may cross the lines to overtake if it is safe, provided you can complete the manoeuvre before reaching a solid white line on your side. White direction arrows on the road indicate that you need to get back onto your side of the road. 129. Double white lines where the line nearest you is solid. This means you must not cross or straddle it unless it is safe and you need to enter adjoining premises or a side road. You may cross the line if necessary, providing the road is clear, to pass a stationary vehicle or overtake a pedal cycle, horse or road maintenance vehicle if they are travelling at 10 miles per hour or less. 130. Areas of white diagonal stripes or chevrons painted on the road. These are to separate traffic lanes or to protect traffic turning right. If the area is bordered by a broken white line, you should not enter the area unless it is necessary and you can see it's safe to do so. If the area is marked by chevrons and bordered by solid white lines, you must not enter unless in an emergency. Rule 171. You must stop behind a line at a junction with a stop sign and a solid white line across the road. Wait for a gap in traffic before you move off. Rule 172. The approach to a junction may have a give way sign or a triangle marked on the road. You must give way to traffic on the main road when emerging from a junction with broken white lines across the road. Rule 174. Box junctions. These have crisscross yellow lines painted on the road. You must not enter the box unless your exit road or lane is clear. However, you may enter the box and wait when you want to turn right and are only stopped from doing so by oncoming traffic or by other vehicles waiting to turn right. At signal roundabouts, you must not enter the box unless you can cross over it completely without stopping. Rule 226. Driving in adverse weather conditions. You must use headlights when visibility is seriously reduced, generally when you cannot see for more than 100 metres or 328 feet. You may also use front or rear fog lights, but you must switch them off when visibility improves. Recap to learn. There's a lot more to learn than the aforementioned points, but these will give a good grounding to an advanced driving course. Listen to the video again, pausing before the definition or highway code rules read out. See if you can recite them verbatim. Good luck, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.